One, thank you guys for attending. At Premier Strategy Box, we decided to launch a producer development program. As a former agency owner, I understood the challenges of developing producers, right? But then, when I started my agency, I really took the time to hire and develop sales skills, and my agency really took off like fire, right? I think a lot of times we focus on making our producers insurance gurus, which is great, but we never really teach them how to prospect and sell. And that's really what I want to focus on today is showing you guys how we do things a little bit different and really teaching sales techniques because all of us have been in this industry for a long time, right? And we understand we learn something new every day. Our industry changes, products change, coverages change. But at the end of the day, if we really talk about growing an agency organically, it starts with those sales skills. And that's really what we want to talk about and focus on today. So I'm going to get rid of my ugly mug because I'm sure you guys don't need to see me. And we're going to really get into this program. So here's what we'll go over today. We'll go a little bit about me and my background. We'll talk about what Premier Strategy Box is all about and kind of why I formed the company. But then we're really going to get into the meat of what we're here for today. And that's to talk about our 12-month producer development program. We'll go into why we're a little bit different. I'll have some testimonials, and I actually have a couple of producers that are on the call here, and then I'll open it up to Q&A. So at the very bottom of the screen, there's a question section. There's also a poll. So feel free to ask any questions down there, and myself or Luann will really get in and answer some of those questions for you guys. So let's really get this kicked off. I promise I'm going to get the boring stuff out of the way right now, right? So talking about me will be the most boring part of this um, whole meeting today. So I started my insurance career as a sales manager for a nationwide agency directly out of college. And I remember my first day, the agent sat in front of me and said, Mick, my goal is to be the biggest, baddest nationwide agent on the planet. And I was like, great. His name's Mark Vitale, if you guys know Mark Vitale here in North Carolina. I said, great, Mark, how are we going to do that? And as serious can be, he looked me in my eye and said, that's why I hired you. You better figure it out. So we developed a plan that was, centered around organic growth. We built a merger and acquisition strategy. And within a few years, we became one of the top 3 nationwide agencies in the country. Today, Mark is close to 40 million in premium, almost 8 million in revenue, and it started just with us putting in these strategies. So with the success that I had with Mark, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it, right? I wanted to see how much of that was Mark, how much of that was nationwide, how much of that was me. So I started my own independent agency, but prior to opening the doors, I really focused on hiring producers, but then teaching them sales process and sales techniques, right? Like I figured that before I started day one, before I did anything, I wanted to invest into my people, right? And I knew that over time their insurance knowledge would come and grow. So I wanted to teach them how to prospect the right way. I wanted to teach them how to build long lasting relationships. And then most importantly, how to close sales. And once I did that, I mean, my agency really took off. So in 3 short years, I grew to 3 million of revenue all organically. So if we're talking premium, because I know some of the folks on here are exclusive, if we're talking premium, I went from 0 to 22 million of premium in 3 years. And from a revenue standpoint, 0 to 3 million of revenue in 3 years. And I did that just by building a process for my producers. So, I started with 2 producers and ultimately ended up with 6. But each producer that I hired, I really onboarded them the right way. And you'd be surprised at what that does to your sales trajectory, right? My agency also 10 years ago was 100% remote and digital. So everything we did is how a lot of you guys operate now. Some of you guys were saying that, you're not really open to the public yet, or it's by appointment only. That's how we operated. Everything was 100% over the phone and internet. We averaged from a revenue standpoint $18,000 per account, and our largest account was over 200,000 in revenue, again, all over the phone. I know my buddy Ryan Hanley is doing a lot of things that way as well over the phone. If you have a process it truly does work, because more and more business owners can't invest an hour to spend talking to you face to face, but they can invest 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there. So those are a lot of the techniques that we teach throughout our program as well. After 3 years, I sold my agency. I call it the Godfather movie, right? I was sitting down with a broker and they gave me an offer I couldn't refuse, right? So I sold my agency, went to go work for a large MGA. I inherited about 50 million in revenue, and in 4 years grew that 50 to 70 million in revenue, all by doing the same things that I did in my agency. So having processes, um, really engaging and developing my producers, and it worked. So after that, I decided I wanted to give back to the industry that had been so good to me. And I wanted to show other agencies how to do the exact same thing. And that's kind of what led me to creating and building Premier Strategy Box. So a lot of folks will ask me, Mick, what is it that you guys do? What is Premier Strategy Box about? And, I say this all the time because I know there's several agency owners on this call, right? And regardless of what your staff thinks, agency owners are actually pretty smart people, right? Like, we're all smart guys, smart ladies. We just don't have the time, or sometimes we don't have the direction to implement all the facets of running a business. And that's where, I decided to build Premier Strategy Box, because I feel like there's 6 pillars that every business, and notice I didn't say every insurance agency, every business has these 6 pillars or these 6 foundations. So for us, we help agencies globally with sales management. And you'll see that in sales management, producer development is a piece of that. So if you are a consulting client of us and you have our sales management pillar, you get producer development included, right? But we also do operations management, where we'll go in and do procedure updates. We'll look at your workflows. Lead generation will help you with that. We'll look at things with HR. Automation will help you with. So, all the procedures and everything that we do in in automation or in operations and sales management, we will do for you through automation. So we'll put things in your CRM. We'll put workflows inside of your agency management system to help things go. And then marketing assistance will help you with as well. So we're not, web designers or anything like that, but if you need help getting social media set up or anything like that, like, we can definitely assist with that as well. So Chuck is saying that he sees a big gray screen. Does anyone else only see a gray screen, or is it just Chuck? Okay, cool. It's just Chuck. Cool. All right, Chuck, we'll get this figured out to you. And again, like I said, it's being recorded, so we'll send it to you. And I have this in a PowerPoint that I can send you also, Chuck. So no worries there. So that is what Premier Strategy Box is about. But I know we're not here just for that. I want you guys to really to see our producer development program. And this is our program. So again, we built this to help producers become great salespeople, right? So there's 3 things that we're going to do in our program. 1, we're going to develop your producers. Ha ha ha. 2, we're going to provide lead generation, and then we're going to hold them accountable. So we're going to meet with them, we're going to help them with leads, and we're going to develop them. And when we talk about the development process, we start by showing and teaching our sales process, right? Remember, I was telling you guys when I started my agency, I really focused and invested in sales coaching, sales training for my producers. And that's what we're going to do for your producers. Um, Regardless of what they've been taught in the past, we're not going to ask them to unlearn anything, right? We're just going to help them focus it in the stages of our sales process. So the first 2 to 3 meetings that our team has with your producers, it's really going to be focused on teaching them the stages of our sales process, right? We're going to make sure that they know that like the back of their hand. And in a later slide, I'll show you what that process looks like, right? And then we're also going to help them understand goals. We're going to help them establish goals. We're going to help them understand the purpose of having goals, and then ultimately how they hit their goals, right? I told you that I have a couple of producers here that are on the call, and I think they each will tell you the first time that I meet with them, I have them write a goal down. And then I tell them, take that number and double it. That's going to be your goal. And Ryan, you and I had that exact same conversation, right? I want to teach you how to goal set so that we can back into that, right? And then once we have your goal set, now we're going to teach you how to start prospecting, right? We're going to teach you how to make calls. We're going to teach you how to utilize social media. We're going to teach you how to join associations, how to build relationships with mortgage brokers and other centers of influence that really jumpstart your success, right? Like that's really important because a lot of folks don't invest time in understanding how to prospect. They just get a list of people and now they're like, okay, go call them. Well, no, there's techniques to everything, and that's what we work on as well. And then finally, we're going to teach them how to build and manage a pipeline. And for you agency owners out there, I'm going to say this and I mean this. You really need a visual pipeline, right? I laugh when I work with producers. We start working with producers and they track everything on a spreadsheet. Those days are old, man. Like if you don't have a CRM, you need a CRM, right? Like, and you need a CRM that has a visual pipeline that can truly help manage your sales process. So if you have a CRM currently, we can show you how to build our sales processes within your CRM. If you don't have a CRM, message me. We have a couple that we like to recommend. We have a couple of the folks here on the call. So, we want to make sure you're utilizing your CRM because that's going to shortcut the process as well. And then with lead generation, and this is included in our program at no extra fee, we're going to provide worker comp X dates, or you could be, like John, who's on this call, where his agency, they don't really care about the X dates, they care about niche markets. So we help find businesses within their niche market. So we can provide business lists for you that, again, through your CRM, you can work on a 6, 9, 12-month campaign that always keeps you in front of your prospects. And if you're a personalized focus agency, or if you have a producer that's personalized, we have access to personalized lead lists as well, right? And then the last part of this program, I think, is where the magic actually happens, and that's with the biweekly accountability. So twice a month, your producers are going to meet with our coaches, right? And we're going to really deep dive. Like I said, the first few weeks are going to be focused on them learning the sales process. But then from there, we're going to do real life scenario. Like you can ask Darius, you can ask John, any of my other producers that are on this call or that are on this meeting. We really go into these actual accounts, right? There's no fluff, there's no rah rah. We roll up our sleeves. And if you're working with ABC Electric, we're going to focus on ABC Electric and we're going to help you close that deal. We're going to talk about the challenges that you may be having, some of the successes that you have. We're going to help provide insight so that we can get these deals closed faster. And that's really what we're about, right? That's what you pay us for, is to help us get these deals closed faster. And so we talked about the sales process that we have. And this is something that I developed, 10, 11 years ago. And it's really centered around the stages of the sales cycle, the stages of the sales process, right? So everything starts with building rapport, right? If you don't build rapport, you're never going to have a sale, right? The next stage of our sales process is uncovering pain. We're going to teach you how to ask really good questions. We're going to teach you how to go deeper with that prospect to get them to realize that they have pain, right? And pain that's not price, right? We don't sell on price, we don't close on price. If price is our only pain point, we're going to teach you to walk away. There's no point in continuing down if we can't uncover pain outside of price. We're going to teach you how to confirm understanding. And what this stage is, we call it the pre-close internally. And I know Darius and John are probably smiling over there because we hammer this home a lot. If we get you to stage 3 in our sales process, we have a 70% close ratio, right? Because we haven't talked insurance yet. At Confirm Understanding, we simply say this: if I'm able to solve your problem, whatever the pain points we uncovered, if I'm able to solve that at a reasonable price and within your budget, would you do business with me? We haven't talked about coverages. We haven't talked about anything. We just say, if we solve your pain point, and their pain point could be their lack of communication with their current agent. Their pain point could be, they don't understand their policy. If we can solve that for you, would you do business with us? and we're going to teach your producers how to get to that stage quickly, right? And then we have the permission to move forward, and that's where you start talking about deck pages and loss runs and all of that, right? Then we're going to show them how to build a presentation. Your producers are no longer going to give, and I'm going to make this scenario up, they're no longer going to give a Liberty Mutual quote and just let that be the presentation. We're going to build a true presentation. We're going to build it around their pain points. It's going to have a nice branded proposal with your agency. And then finally, we're going to get to a decision, which is a yes or a no. But that's the sales process that we're going to teach your producers. And we have a lot of success with this process. We simplify the stages. And our number one rule is we don't skip stages. We don't go from building rapport to asking about their deck pages or talking about loss runs. We go step by step until we know that the customer or prospect is ready to move through that stage. So what can you expect from our producer development program? Number one, there's consistency. There's going to be consistency because you have a process. There's going to be consistency from our end as well. We're going to have consistent meetings, right? What else can you expect? Accountability, that's huge. We're going to ask tough questions. We treat adults like adults, right? We're going to talk about, and I know John and Darius are going to laugh again. How many phone calls are you making? Ryan, when I talk to Ryan, what's the first thing I ask you? How many calls you make today, right? It's because if you're not doing that, those steps are very important. So we're going to hold you accountable to processes, to behaviors. You're going to get an increased focus because you're always going to have us in your ear. We're always going to be accessible. We're really going to talk to you about developing niche markets, right? So I don't believe in producers being the Jack or Jill of all trades. If you're going to write electrical contractors, then write electrical contractors, right? If you're going to write restaurants, then write restaurants, but really get into a niche because that's going to help you from a prospecting standpoint. We're going to eliminate excuses. And then most importantly, we're going to get results, right? I have John on this call, and I think John is actually on one of my testimonials here. But John started with us, in April? And by May, John had already closed a $30,000 account. He had closed over 10 or 11 personal lines accounts, all in just a month and a half of going through the process. We have other producers from a revenue standpoint that in 3 months have written over 70,000 of revenue, right? We have producers that in 4 or 5 months that are 3 digits of revenue, all because of the processes, and we're going to make sure that we get those results with you guys. So let's talk about the pricing of this program. And this is agency level pricing. So this is not going to be a per producer type model right here. So, if you have up to 2 producers enrolled in the program, it's a flat $6,000. That's not per producer. It's just $6,000, right? And CRM management's included. So if you have a CRM, we'll go in and make sure that everything is set up correctly. We'll set up our processes. We'll give you access to some of the content and templates that we have. We'll walk you through setting up automation. So we'll really help you manage your CRM. And then for every producer above 2, it's just a flat $1,500. But here's what I'm going to do for the folks that are on this call today. It's just going to be $6,000 regardless. If you have 1 producer or 50 producers, it's just $6,000 per agency. Again, we're getting a lot of success. We're teaching agents to sell. This isn't, I'm not going to bash any carrier training development program because they're all great as well too, right? But you're not going to have to fly out anywhere. We're not going to teach you how to write a nationwide policy. We're not teaching you how to write a state auto policy. We're teaching your producers how to sell and close business, right? Because at the end of the day, without that production, we're not in business, right? And when I say we, I mean the agency owners, right? So that's what we're about. So why are we different? One, we have a team with an extensive and diverse background. So, we have Luann Wooters, who's here on the call with us today. For those that know Luann, I don't have to give her background. For those who don't know Luann, she's the most amazing insurance person on the planet, right? From a knowledge-based standpoint, Luann can do it all. She's blushing over there, but it's okay, Luann. Everything that we do is custom to your individual agency and to your team. So what works for Ryan's agency and what Ryan's brand is might not be the same brand that Landon has, right? So we're not just going to come with the box and script and say, okay, here you go. We're really going to get to understand your agency's goals, and then we're going to build and develop your producers to your brand, to your culture. I think you noticed by now we're very hands-on. So we don't just show, we do. I think our consulting clients love us for that because we roll up our sleeves and we do everything. But most importantly, we get results. And again, you can ask any of the folks that are here that are clients of mine on the call. You get results and you get them quickly. So some testimonials. I'm not going to read this verbatim or anything, but John Coolander, who is out there, John, if you're out there, say hello or type hello. I know you just closed on a home. So John sold so much business, he closed on a home, right? John just bought a new house. Now, but John, like I said, his first couple of months, he's already close to 100,000 in revenue just on what he's doing. And John is writing a ton of policies and is really, really one of my superstars. Um, Another guy here, local to us in North Carolina, he has a team of 7 producers, and he's a full consultancy client with us. But Darius, who's on the call, just started with this agency in June or July, and Darius has already written like large accounts. I mean, Darius has written 6 accounts over 15, 20,000 in premium just in the last couple of months. And again, we don't teach anything that's magic. We don't teach anything that's secret sauce. This is a process teaching you how to prospect and then teaching you how to close business. It's really that simple. Darius, have we taught you anything that you couldn't envision when you came in, or have we asked you to do something that you thought was unreasonable? And John, same with you. John says, trust the process, right? That, like, it's seriously just taking things and putting them into simplistic form so that we can really get the best out of our producers. So that's a highlight of the program. We have a lot of time left. I wanted you guys to be able to ask questions. So here's my direct information here. You've got my email, my office line number, but feel free to ask any questions either in the question box below or the chat box to the right. Any questions, any comments. Ryan, we can't make the Bills a better football team, but we can do what we can. And Darius just said everything I was asked to do just brought out my natural talents that he didn't know he had. And that's really key to what it is, right? We want to make you great salespeople, and you guys wouldn't be hired as producers if the agency owner didn't think you could be that. Now we just want to enhance those skills. So great comment, Darius. So we've got a question below. My question gave me an error and did not post. Okay, Chuck. Chuck, I'm going to tell you, we need to check your internet provider or your setup, sir. So let's poll a couple of people. So Landon, any questions that you have? And so Chuck, you just asked a question. Let me start answering this. So you said, great presentation geared towards producers. Yeah, this is our producer development program. Do you do anything for agency owners and the challenges that they face? Absolutely. So I'm going to come up here to, I think it's slide 4, Chuck. So this is everything that we do for our agency partners. So producer development is one piece of this, but we help with sales management. We help with operations management. So we'll do everything from helping set up procedures and workflows to looking at your people and assessing to make sure they're in the right roles. We'll help with automation. So again, all the procedures and policies that you have in place, we'll automate them inside of your management system and or CRM. We can do data analytics and reporting. If you need help with HR, we can do all of that as well, Chuck. Agency marketing, yes. Reputation management, yes. Funding and finding acquisitions, absolutely. Absolutely. So Jack had a question. How much time do you spend in your meetings with the producers per session? So it's 2 sessions per month, and it's 60 to 90 minutes per session, right? We find that if you go more than 90 minutes, producers start tapping out. So you're going to have 2 sessions per month in this program. In this program, 2 sessions per month, 60 to 90 minutes. Heather said she's a producer with a large firm. Are there any options available as an individual versus the entire agency? Heather, yeah, we can talk to you about doing something just for the producer. Like if you're having to pay the cost, we can figure out a program just for you. So email me or Luann. I know you have Luann's contact information as well. Email me or Luann, and we can talk to you about setting something up for you. Very good question. Any other questions out there? You guys are like super quiet. Now, some of you guys are like emailing me questions. You can ask the questions out here. And I say that as Chuck sent me one. Like, I think 7 people just sent me an email. So yeah, I will check my emails when we're done here and answer those questions directly there as well too. How about Dwayne? Any questions, or Christy, Bulldog out there? Do you have an extra 125 that I could borrow? I do not, but Ryan Hanley does have 125 that you can borrow, Chuck. Just hit him up. Do you do anything after the initial 12 months? Yeah, so Jack, normally what happens is it rolls into an accountability program after the first 12 months. So the first 12 months is about developing. And then after that, we continue doing the same thing. We just call it an accountability program. What is your favorite part of Premier Strategy Box? That's a good question. So I love everything that we do, right? Like I built this because I was a former agency owner. I think the thing that I love most is seeing agency owners and then producers like Darius and John getting that aha moment of, man, it really was this simple, right? I think that's really my favorite part, is seeing that someone gets it and that it's not complicated. And I really do love giving back. I really do. What's the difference in program for a PNC agency versus an agency like mine with PNC Life Health Commercial? No differences. Our processes, our procedures are for all lines. We have agencies just like yours, Chuck, that are heavily focused on benefits as well as PNC, and it's the same exact process. Are most of the producers you're focused on, are you working with focus on commercial lines? So Landon, good question. So I would say it's probably 60/40, 60 commercial, 40 personal lines. But I mean, I would say the same processes are the same processes, right? Obviously, with commercial, you're going to see a faster result because you can prospect a little bit differently. With personal lines, we're going to set up and look at your internal book, because I believe the best prospect is one that already does business with you, right? So we're going to look at that. But then we also have some avenues for prospecting and on the personal line side with centers of influence, and then some lead generation lists as well. Dwayne said he loves it. What's the best way for me to get this to my agents? Dwayne, shoot me an email. We can talk. We can set something up for you guys as well too. And Chuck asked, does it matter if producers are employee versus 1099? Nope, it doesn't matter. If you enroll them in our program, we don't ask those questions. Doesn't matter to us at all. And so I'm going to give Landon a shout out really quick too, and actually Ryan as well too. So a lot of things that we do on the automation side when we talk about prospecting, we believe in video content. So if you guys are looking for help or assistance or just some know-how with video, definitely reach out to Landon and Ryan. These guys are rock stars when it comes to video content. They're posting some great things out there. They can help you with equipment that you might be looking at. I know Darius, one of my clients and customers, has asked me about video, and I'm going to link him up with you guys as well too. So, wanted to give you guys a shout out while you're here. Ryan works on video 24/7, so he's for sure always working on a video. Yep. Landon said everything he learned was from Ryan, so call him. But don't be so humble there, Landon. You're a video rock star yourself, sir. Cool. Any other questions before we wrap up? Call Mick. I need to sell policies. There you go. There you go. Cool. Any last questions before we wrap this up? And again, I truly appreciate you guys joining. You can totally reach out to me directly. We can totally get this going for you guys. My email box is blowing up over here already, so I appreciate it. I will definitely respond to you guys individually. You have my direct dial there as well too. Luann posted her email up there, so you can reach out to Luann. But anything that we can do to help you guys, anything that we can do to give back to the insurance industry, the insurance community, we are there for. So again, I appreciate you guys being on. You'll get a copy of this webinar that you can record and share as well. So I appreciate you guys, and we will talk soon.